Going on YouTube, back with another video. Know it's been a minute. Kind of had some issues with a couple loads I had. Well, one load I had, so didn't really do no recording. But took a load out to Arizona. It was dead out there. Anybody that heavy hauling right now or in a double drop know it is few and far between to find a good load right now. And I've been getting hit up all the time about heavy hauling, how to get into it, what's to do. And I'm gonna be honest, I say don't get into it. Stay with whatever you're doing in trucking right now. You need to stay with what you're doing. I mean, I understand everybody want to try to upgrade and move up, but moving up into a field you don't know a lot about, you can get screwed around real easy. And when you bring in a lot of new people, like what happened with dry van, rates gonna drop. Rates are already dropping now. The more people who out here who don't necessarily understand what they should do for it, as far as rate wise, rates are just gonna keep dropping. So if you want to get into it, I say find your company that does it, you know, that you can lease on to or try to learn from. That's my bet. Or you got some buddies you can call. Hey man, I need some help quoting this, you know, before you just throw out a number. You can easily end up upside down on the load or just breaking even, you know, just because you underbid it. You know, just because the numbers sound good don't necessarily mean it's gonna be good, if that makes sense. But I'm sitting out here in Houston, got a load out of here Monday. Got my buddy next to me, and there's another trailer next to me. So each one of our setups are different. You know, people say they want to get into a double drop or heavy haul. You know, I get the question, what trailer should I buy? Well, how heavy are you trying to haul? Because if you got a truck like that with just 2 axles on it, you don't need a trailer no bigger than this with 3 axles on it. Or mine with 3 axles. This is a 35 ton. This is a 40 ton. I got a 4-axle truck. He has a 4-axle truck. But he has 4 trailer axles. So he's 8-axle setup. I'm 7-axle setup. He's 6-axle setup. I would not go buy this trailer with just a 2-axle truck. I would not buy, say, a 2-axle trailer with a 4-axle, if you got a 4-axle truck. You know, the setup has to match. The truck has to match the trailer. Like I wanted a 55-ton stretch, but it made no sense for me to pull a 55-ton stretch with a 2-axle truck. I mean, I was planning on stretching the truck and adding the axle, but for the meantime, I was just gonna be dumb heavy for a trailer that I can nowhere near max out on weight. So I was gonna have a bigger trailer, but I was actually gonna be hauling lighter weight because I wouldn't be able to scale more weight, if that makes sense. Just because my truck didn't have an axle on it. All right, this is how this works for the most part. You could permit 40,000 on a tandem. Pretty much it's gonna be 20,000 an axle. So you got 40K here. I can get 60, he can get 60. Some states you get more, some states will be a little less. So say he can get 40K here, he can get 60K back here. That's perfectly fine. Most of what he's gonna have to load is gonna be towards the back if he's gonna max out on weight. Because if you put it in the middle, then you're gonna be light back here. You're gonna be about 54 or 55 back here, or 50. And then you'll be, you know, 44, 45 on your drive. You'll be over on your drives. Whereas me, I could be 60 and 60 here. I can set my weight in the closer to the middle, and it's gonna scale out right. Or I have the axle to be able to scale it out. You know, Where if he's 46 on his drives, he'll be over. I could be 46 on mine, just drop the axle down. So say you take that truck, put behind this trailer, put in front of this trailer. This trailer, like this, some states you can get close to 80. Some states don't even recognize it. So you'll still be at 60, or you may get 72, all depending on what states. I don't remember exactly what states it is, because I've never been this big. I've looked up some of it, but I can't say for sure because I hadn't done it yet. So say you're trying to put 72,000 back here. You're not gonna put 72,000 back here and still be under 40,000 on the truck. It's not gonna happen. So you can get a 55 ton and put behind a truck like this, yes, but it wouldn't do you no justice to buy this, to have the 4th axle. Now, if you're planning on getting a bigger truck, you know, you're gonna buy a 55 ton, you know, to test it out, cool. If you buy a tandem trailer with no flip, that's a flip axle, this is a flip axle. My trailer's a tandem with a flip. That's a tandem with a flip. This is a tri plus a flip. If you buy a tandem axle trailer behind a tandem axle truck, you will be fighting for scraps. I do mean that legitimately. You will be fighting for scraps. This is the cheapest way to get into it, obviously. You know, the lighter trailer, less axles, gonna be the cheapest thing. It's gonna also be the cheapest freight as far as weight wise. Now, yes, you can still haul something real wide, real tall, you know, and make the same money as this 55 tonners. He would be heavy, you know, and not be wide or oversized. Sometimes you can make more money being big. I have had $30, $35 mile loads, but I was stretched 50 foot here in the well instead of just 29. I was 50 foot here in the well, 15 in diameter tank that I hauled. So there's money out there, but you're gonna have to work for it. Now, another thing between trailers, that's a 55 ton at least. I'm assuming he's about a 55 ton at least. Maybe bigger, or could be bigger, but I doubt it. Let's just say he's 55 ton. Well, if you look here to there, let me get down here. Look where his well starts, or where his well ends to mine. Still got a couple feet, right? All right, let's walk on up. Look where his well starts versus mine. Still got a couple feet. Let's say his is here to here. Still got a couple feet till I get to the neck. Well, on bigger trailers are gonna be smaller for the most part. You may find one somebody had ordered, or ordered it and they didn't pick it up, or somebody ordered it with a long well and it's used, they're selling it, whatever. For the most part, you're gonna have a smaller well, so you're gonna have a smaller outlook on freight. This is more your lighter equipment, like I say, 35 ton trailer. You could put 70,000 pounds on this deck. This is a 40 ton trailer. You can put 80,000 pounds on this deck. This is a 55 ton. You could put 110,000 pounds on this deck. So this is more focused for excavators, your yellow iron, anything heavy. Yes, you can still haul size, over width, height, whatever, but your length is gonna be, smaller. Where I could haul a school bus, he could haul a school bus. He could haul a school bus, but he's gonna have to do a little cribbing to block it up, get it over the back. It's gonna be some stuff. There's gonna be some differences. There's a pro and con to whatever trailer you get. His trailer's really long, My trailer's long, but his trailer's really long. Because he's got 4 axles. He also has a longer neck than mine. See where my neck is? His neck is back here. Well, if we look at where they start, his neck is right here. About the same. His neck is longer than mine. So this trailer is altogether longer than mine. My trailer's 55 foot, so I have no idea how long he is, but he's long. That trailer is 48 foot, and it's gonna be 53 foot with the flip. So, and me and this guy, we're pretty close on setups. We're both sticking way out. As you can see how far back everybody else is to me and this guy. We are the longest in the lot. Oh yeah, hold on 1 second. There's also another issue you run into when you're long like this. You stick out far. Guy bumped my bumper today. Guy was trying to back in over on that side. Got too close with the truck, hit my bumper. It's all right. I was a little mad about it at first, but it's all right. He drove off. You know, kind of the principle. You at least could have stopped, saw what happened, but it's all right. Nothing hurt, nothing major hurt. My hood ain't laying on the ground, so. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Now with the necks, the reason this neck is longer, my neck is longer, compared to this neck, that neck is shorter. That trailer is not designed for a 4-axle truck to be in front of it. So you don't need the 5th wheel to be up enough to put weight on the lift axle. If you want to put a lift axle on a truck, your 5th wheel needs to come forward enough for you to transfer weight on the lift. I know it seems like, well, the weight is at the back, you're picking it up on it. Not really the case. It's like a seesaw effect. If the weight is at the back, it's gonna sit on the back. When you pick up, when you put this pusher down and it tries to pick up the frame, it's gonna take weight off of your steers versus taking weight off your drives. It's gonna take some weight off, but it's gonna take more off your steers than what you're gonna want to. So that's why we have longer necks. But you see, he's got plenty of room where he could bring his further forward. With a 55 ton, you don't just need a lift axle, you need a heavy steer if you're gonna max out on weight. So you want this to be long enough to you want this to slide far enough forward for when you put this axle down, this will take weight off of your drives, but you will also throw enough weight to the front to put weight on your steers. So that's the reason for the longer necks or shorter necks like that trailer. Deck heights are a thing. See how thick that trailer is versus mine and that one. Now these two trailers have about the same ride height, loaded deck height. So meaning when you load the trailer from the ground to the top of this deck is 18 inches on mine. It's gonna be about the same on that one. This trailer is gonna be about 20 to 22, somewhere around there. So that's gonna determine how tall your load can be before you get legal. You know, possibly need escorts, but it'll only be a couple inches difference. You get into 60 tons, 70 tons, they have 24-inch deck heights. You know, they get thick. I got a buddy, he has a mini deck. So mine from the ground to the top of the deck when it's loaded, it's 18 inches. This arch is gonna flatten out. With that mini deck, his is only 12 inches. So it's pretty low. He gets to haul a lot of tall stuff where I would have needed a permit or escort. He could haul it and be legal. This is a stretch trailer. I can stretch out. Like I said, 29 foot. He's 29 foot in the well. I'm 29 foot in the well. But I can stretch mine out to 50 foot. He can't haul everything I can haul. But my empty weight is probably just as heavy as this guy. If you look at his center rails, they're not that wide. Maybe 6-8 inches. Look at my center rails, they're about 10-12 inches, because this is a box. You got this rail here, slides all the way to the front. It's technically double frame, front to back. So you got that added weight. His empty weight is probably, I think when I was pulling this trailer, I was around 42, around 39, 40,000 pounds. You know, around 40,000 pounds is the average empty weight you're gonna have with that trailer. You know, plus or minus a couple thousand pounds, depending on how much wood you got. If you got a headache rack, if you got third axle back there, how many chains you got, dunnage, tarps, you know, all that stuff plays a factor. Well, where he's around 40,000, I'm 50,000 empty. So we could put the same weight on our trailer. He could put 50,000 on his deck. I could put 50,000 on mine. I'm gonna be 100,000 pounds gross. He's gonna be 90,000 pounds gross. So he could haul 40,000 pounds and be legal, be right at 80,000. If I put 40,000 on, I'm gonna be overweight and need permits. So that's an advantage you have of a setup like that. You're lightweight. And with him having a mechanical neck, that neck is way lighter than this neck and that neck, because there's nothing on it. Literally, there's nothing on it. That's all you have to hold the neck on, those two plates. That's how you operate it. His trailer has these two big hydraulic rams, and all that is reinforced over in the middle. Mine, same thing. Got the two big hydraulic rams. It's heavy, just heavier. So yeah, that's just kind of my overview on pros and cons of different trailers. If you're looking to get into it, you know, maybe that can kind of help you decide on what you're looking for, whether you want to be lighter weight, smaller trailer, want to be somewhere in the middle, want to go a little heavier, you know. And there's no limit on these trailers. They get dumb heavy. You got 13 axle setups. You got 13 axles with the truck and the trailer put together, 13 axles. You got some trailers that got 13 axles by themselves, 12 axle trailers. You have, it goes on and on. So with that being said, you got a lot more maintenance to keep up. I have 2 more axles than a regular truck. So that means 8 more tires and 4 more brakes to keep up with, 4 more slack adjusters to keep up with, 4 more, like I said, brake components. This is kind of my ghetto lift axle. Since I deadheaded it so far, keep from having to keep the tires on the ground. Now he's got all these tires, and these tires aren't cheap. These tires are, for the most part, 16 ply, or you want to at least try to keep around a 16 ply, because you got 20,000 pounds on this axle You got 5,000 pounds on each tire. And these tires are not big, they are little. These are smaller than a Low Pro 22.5. They're small. So, and you don't want to run too fast. You run too fast, you get these tires hot, they're gonna pop like popcorn. And it does not take long. I have learned my lesson. Just because you got the power don't mean you want to pull it that fast. If it's out in West Texas, 110 degrees outside, I do not recommend running 80 miles an hour as the speed limit allows you to. Don't do it. You're gonna be on the side of the road stuck, buying tire, waiting on the tire man to come. But wintertime when it starts cooling off, you know, your tires aren't gonna be as hot. You can do it, get away with it a little more in a way without blowing tires, but still you gotta be careful. Watch out for that. Watch out where you go in and out of. You can get stuck with these trailers, especially if you have a mechanical neck, because you can't adjust the height on them. Once that trailer is loaded, which he's in his high setting right now, I mean, his bags are probably down, but that's how is that trailer gonna be. When you put weight on it, it's gonna sit lower. I'm in my lowest setting right now, just to get the back of the trailer up to give a little more room for that axle being in there. But I got 5 settings. I can have this, I can sit the bottom of my trailer higher than my knee and sit in the 5th position right there, and it'll ride, you know, to get over bump, railroad crossing, getting in and out of truck stops. Y'all know how some of these places are uneven ground. See how low this trailer here is compared to mine, which his bags could be down too, but that's something else you got to look at. You want to watch yourself. So, if there any more questions or something y'all may have about heavy hauling or options out here, things to do, how to get into it. Oh yeah, escort costs. Some escorts can be as cheap as $1.50, $1.70. Some of them over $2.50, you know, a mile per person. If you have them overnight, they could be like $200 a night for some of them. I have had some as cheap as $75 a night. I've had some over $150 a night. Like I say, they have their mileage charge, but if you don't, I've had some that have a minimum. So say they charge $1.70 a mile. Cool. Well, if you only do 100 miles a day, because for some of these loads you will not get a lot of miles out with some of these loads, depending on what state you're in, how big you are, what your routing is. If you're having to dodge bridges, curfews, you know, you can't go through the city at certain times. You will have delayed, you know, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be getting 700 miles out a day for the most part. Well, with the bigger stuff, with big stuff. I mean, you can, but more than likely not. So if you don't meet their minimum, which I have had this happen, they have what's called a flat rate, a daily rate. So if you don't meet their 400 mile or 500 mile minimum, they'll charge you just a day rate of 500 or 600, 700, depending on whatever their day rate is. That's per escort, you know, per day. You know, each escort is a charge on their own. Just like each truck that's hauling the load is being paid separately. Each escort is being paid separately. So you got to add that into your costs. You're gonna spend more fuel. You're gonna be heavier. If you're in the hills, fuel is gonna spend a lot of fuel. Like let's go ahead and fuel mileage out the window. You kind of can't worry about it, to be honest. It just is what it is. Let's see what else. Insurance. A lot of equipment, they want a lot of insurance on $500,000, $1 million, $2 million insurance. All depending on whose it is, what it is you're hauling, however much they require. You may have to up your insurance rate or insurance coverage That's gonna cost more money. It's just things add up. It all adds up. So you don't want to be out here hauling $3 a mile, $4 a mile, and it's costing you, say, $3.50 a mile to run it. It's not worth doing. Now, if you're getting something that's $6 a mile and it's costing you $1.50 to run it, or $2 to run it, that's way better. You want to make sure you got the right price. Don't let these brokers fool you. They will sell you out cheap. The more you know, the better you be. Don't let these brokers tell you, oh, well, I had a truck do it last week at this rate. Well, call them back. You may want to call them back. I hope you kept their number, because it's not going on my truck for that. I can't operate cheaply. Like, truck note, trailer note, plus all those expenses, I can't operate cheaply. And some guys got paid off equipment. They can afford that. My hat's off to you. I wish mine was, paid off, but it's not right now. So I can't compete with those guys. So whenever I get something that's a good rate, I jump on it. And I don't mind deadheading to something good. Don't be scared to deadhead. I have tried that. I'm gonna take this little load, be a little fuel money in between my next load. Never goes to plan. When I say never goes to plan, it never goes to plan. Either they're not ready for the load to ship, the receiving end is not ready for it. Crane's gonna be late. It's gonna be something. Never fails. I'll blow a tire or something in the middle of nowhere. Gotta wait a day, 2 days to get a tire. Depending on how heavy you are, you don't want to be limping on one tire. You can, but you don't want to go too far. But yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Increased maintenance. You don't want to be doing 20,000 mile oil changes, 25,000 mile oil changes like I've heard some of these guys doing. That is absurd. I change mine every 13 to 15,000. Grease your truck every week, at least every other week, especially on your front suspension, your brakes, your drive line. The drive line is under a lot more pressure. Drive line's under a lot more tension, pressure, pulling weight, just how it is. You want to check your diff fluid, check your trans fluid, check that stuff out more often. Airbags, you're gonna be running higher air pressure, PSI in your bags. Make sure you got some good ones. Got to invest in chains, binders, flags, dunnage, tarps. This stuff is not cheap. I was gonna order me some more chains and binders just to update what I got, and I think binders are around $300 a piece, $300 a piece. Chains, $100-something a piece. I think for a 10-foot chain it was like $150, something like that. It's where we live in. This stuff isn't cheap. Wood isn't cheap. Dunnage is not cheap. Now that does not mean cut this man's strap and take his stuff, or just because his stuff is there, take his stuff. No, that will get you hurt. I have heard the stories, never had it happen to me yet, but if I feel my truck rock, I'm up. And you on my trailer, you get my stuff, I'm on you. Best to have a headache rack with lock and key. That's the best thing to have. I think the ugly one, took it off, my personal preference. But that's the best way to secure your stuff, so you don't have to worry about anybody stealing. I think what else? I don't know. But yeah, y'all got any more questions? Things y'all want to know? like, subscribe. If you got any more questions or anything you want to know about this, comment. As it just so happened, I ended up parking here. Got these 3 setups, 3 good examples of ways to get into this. Like I said, I stretched my truck, double framed it. That truck is not double framed. He's long enough to put a pusher on. You know, you can get away with it. It's not the best for the truck, but you can get away with it for a while anyway. These trailers are not cheap. So definitely a price difference with buying one. So quick little overview for y'all. Until next time.